Welcome to another edition of I'm Probably Wrong About Everything. I'm your host, Rob Rant. On today's podcast, we talk about the history of swear words, where they come from, their origin, and why they're so taboo. Warning, this podcast contains explicit language. You have been warned. Well, Bobby,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
I'm having a wonderful time.
So,
Also, Stewie's here.
oh, fuck, I hate Stewie.
Oh, no, he's gone. Bye.
I only like the dog in Family Guy, and Peter.
You like Brian?
Brian,
Yeah.
yeah. I like Brian because he was an alcoholic dog.
Yes. That's why you like him?
Well, I was just like, that is the most original idea ever. You know?
They play him up pretty great.
Yeah. Is he... So, does he do the voices of everyone, Seth MacFarlane?
Not everyone, but
Pretty much.
Yeah,
But he doesn't
a lot of
do...
them.
He doesn't do Meg.
No.
And he doesn't do
Oh my God,
the
that
mom.
was her name.
Yeah, that's Arisha Kushgek or whatever her name is.
No. It's
Did I just...
why can't I think of her name?
Mila Kunis.
That's it.
I just made up a name that sounded...
Yeah.
What ethnicity is that? Mila Kunis. Now I forgot her name.
Latvian?
Latvian.
I
Yeah,
have no
maybe.
idea.
So the other day, I stubbed my toe. And when I stubbed my toe, it was like an automatic, response. I said, shit! Right?
Did you call the toe trap?
That's such a bad joke.
I know. It's my favorite though.
It's such a bad joke. Oh,
Okay, so you said, oh shit.
yeah, okay, so I hit my toe.
Why'd you say oh shit?
Well, I mean, that's just it. That's where I'm going with this today. It was like an automatic response. And it made me think about, like, why is that the automatic response? I could have just made like a noise like or something like that. You know what I mean? But no, without thinking, I said shit, the word shit.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about, what's the origin of this word, right? And why are words, in air quotes, why are some words bad, right?
Really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Do you know why?
No.
So.
I mean, I think I did a little bit of research.
Yeah. So from what I understand, we'll call it an involuntary swear word, like fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, just so you know, anyone that listens to this, there'll be a lot of swearing.
Oh
this
yeah.
one.
Warning. Today's episode has gratuitous use of naughty language. Don't let your grandmother listen to this.
This is the part where on the TV they show you all the swear words they're about to say.
Yeah.
Watch it, bitch.
Is that what they do? They tell you the swear words they say?
I was thinking of the one where, like, hey, you can take this pill and get rid of your headache, but then you get this.
Oh, yeah,
list.
yeah. Yeah. But then you want to jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
You're like, well, you know what? I think I'm okay with the stomachache.
Yeah. At least my headache's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
no, so you do it
yeah.
because swear words are, how can I put it? They're linked to your emotion.
They're linked to your emotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're ever thinking, you stubbed your toe.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what you say. You can say F word, F bomb, C bomb.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
What, like a car bomb?
Car bomb. There you go.
Yeah.
Terrible band.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Oh, yeah. That band's garbage.
But it's just, you're just saying something. It just happens to be a swear word because
Right.
it's the easiest.
It's reflexive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And reflective of
the situation.
Of your current emotion. Because, you're hurt. Fuck.
Yeah.
And then you ever got into a heated argument and then find that you swear a little bit more? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. Some people can control it. I definitely swear a lot fucking more.
I think you put emphasis on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the usage of a swear word is to add meaning to what you're saying.
Right.
Right. And it's usually in like an informal setting. Like if I'm going to give a speech as a consultant or whatever, like a business meeting, I'm going to be like, here's a fucking plan, right? In front of a bunch of people. I'm not going to do that. Right. But if I'm having a one-on-one conversation with somebody and I'm trying to deliver a point, I'm going to say, we got to get our shit together. Yeah. Right.
Reflective of your emotion.
Yeah.
Of your point.
Yeah. But there's you're trying to, it's emphatic. You're putting emphasis on it, right? It's like, we need to get this done.
You ever got a great present on your birthday or Christmas and just been like, fuck yeah! Or if your favorite team scores.
Yeah.
Or
okay, so that's an interesting thing. So you're saying that there's a connection between the words that we use, our lexicon, and our emotions.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So what's interesting is, and this is where I was sort of talking to you about it, is the history of swear words, right?
Where do they come from?
Well, I mean, there's the literal, so the study of where words comes from is etymology, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And which I think is fascinating because, as we know, the English language, right?
This is the part where if anyone's ever played What Do You Meme? And then you have the card that says like hits bong.
Yeah.
What's the etymology of etymology?
Well, it's probably something to do with Latin because ology is study of, biology, the study of life. Yeah. So etym is probably like words. So the study of words.
Boom.
So
we have our answer.
Bong hoot.
We have our answer.
But that's just it, right? There's an origin of words. There's an origin of written languages, right? Things being inspired. I'm reading this book, Sapiens, and very fascinating book, which has gotten me thinking about the history of things, right? And how we've gotten to where we are. And in Sapiens, it talks about how the first language wasn't really a language like we use to converse, right? It was a language used for recording, namely recording, agricultural amounts, right? Like we have this much barley.
Much like painting pictures on a wall.
But that was different. The paintings on the cave wall.
Isn't that for some sort of memory to tell other people?
Okay, but that's different. I see where you're going with this. But you're talking about the cave paintings and the hands on the walls and stuff. That they were telling a story.
Okay.
Whereas this language, but that was rare to do that. There's not lots of that. Mm-hmm. There is that, but there's not lots of it. Whereas when we start to get into the agricultural age, we have to keep numerical records of things, right? And our brain is just not really capable of doing that. It's not good with numbers unless you're the Rain Man.
What came first, language or math?
Well, that's just it. They think it's like what came first in terms of like spoken language?
I guess it would have to be language, but
well, I think language came first.
It would have to.
But I think it was just sounds, right? Like here's the bong hoot.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Is that what bong hoot sounds like?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Right? But my daughter, she makes noises like man, all kinds of different noises that to her, she's communicating something, right? And I don't know enough about biology or kids or anything, but I wonder, like, is that the first language? Right? Like, is that how we started? Like, just making these, like, over there, or, things like that.
I believe it would have to be, right?
Yeah. Because you can tell that when she's making these noises, different noises are associated to different feelings. Mm-hmm. Like she'll see my dog Kona and be like, like really excited.
Or give that like,
but then exactly. But then she'll like drop her soother and be like, like wants it, right?
Yeah.
So language is just communication, as is swearing. So, but then how did swear words become a thing?
I can tell you. Which one do you want to start with?
Which word?
Which yeah.
What?
I got shit, kind of bullshit, fuck, damn, ass,
damn.
bitch.
I want to hear damn. How did that?
Okay. So, damn comes from the Latin of damnum, which means to hurt, to damage, or to injure.
Wow.
So if I was to damn someone,
you're damaging.
damnum, yeah.
Okay.
But used as and then to use as a verb would be damnare, which you're gonna love this one, to doom.
Oh.
Or to condemn.
Damn you. Doom you.
Damnare.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought you.
Damnare is French.
Damnare?
Isn't it? Well, I mean, that's a cool thing is that a lot of these words are based in, Latin or Germanic.
Mm-hmm. Most of them are.
So are most of them, but here's the interesting one. Shit and fuck are based out of, they're not Latin. They're Germanic.
Yeah. Fuck I got from Dutch, Norse, and Swedish. And Germanic, probably.
Yeah. Well,
they probably all got
Slavic
mashed.
languages, I think they call them. Right. So
for fuck is in Dutch is Fokken,
Folken.
Meaning to breed. To fuck.
Yeah.
Now that we call it that. Norse is foka, which is to copulate.
Copulate. Yeah.
Same with Swedish, but it's foka with Norse is Fukka and Swedish is Focka.
Okay.
I imagine they're said the same.
Right.
They're just spelled different. But folk, Fock in Swedish, is penis.
So they're all sexual things.
Yes.
Right. Well, okay, so here's the crazy thing here. So when I was doing a little search, the first written, and this is the interesting thing, is obviously there's the written histories that we know about, and then there's the oral histories. Like, for example, the Bible was an oral history. It wasn't written until many years later, right?
Yeah.
So swear words, if you lived in a predominantly church and state, connected place, you wouldn't write down words that were offensive.
Sorry, you would or wouldn't?
You would not.
Wouldn't.
Think about that, right? Because it's super religious. And if you write down, the F word or whatever, people would be like, oh, that's so sinful.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting thing about swear words is we have to think about the context and when things are scribed down, right? We kind of miss that in our sort of, when we look at things.
Right.
So the first written usage of, the F word is in this guy's name. And I think it was like, let's say it was Frank Lefouque Naval or something like that.
Yeah.
And there could have been a double meaning here. And they used to write down some court notes. And this was in the 13th century, so the 1200s. And apparently there was this guy, and either he was an idiot. This is another way of calling him an idiot, but calling him a Fouque Naval, that he's so dumb he would try and, fornicate his own navel.
Yeah.
Right? Or that is what he actually did. But he just sort of writes his name and then just... Yeah, so it's something like that. But anyways, there's that written record of that. So he likely was like a bastard, didn't have, a last name.
Right.
Right? And...
I wonder if someone played a joke on him and called his last name Fouknavel.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it meant. They just called him that for his whole life. And then they were like, well, do you know in Dutch it actually means to fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they wouldn't use to fuck.
But that's the other... So that's the other crazy thing is... The English language itself is composed, of Latin and French predominantly, right? There's like a whoosh. This is my understanding. And the reason why that happened is in 1066, the Normans of France invaded England. And ruled England. So there was the Norman kings, right? Normandy and stuff. So England was literally ruled by French kings. So that's why you might have had a name in England like Frank Le
Folk-navel, yeah.
right? So there's this kind of like what's happening now is you go down the street and you could go to any ethnicity of a restaurant. There's an Indian restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Greek
Japanese,
restaurant, whatever you want.
Mexican.
Okay? So, there's so much globalization going on. This is the first kind of real big, maybe not the first one, but this is a huge globalization event, right? There's a huge influence of French. And that's where you get swear words combining, right? So there's an urban myth that, like, I asked my dad when I was 10 or whatever. I was like, why is it the F word so bad?
I asked my mom the same thing.
Yeah, he's like, how did that become a bad word? Is my question. He's like, well, because it stands for to fornicate under consensus of the king or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, what? And it was something to do like during the bubonic plague, they didn't want more people being born with diseases. So you had to get written permission from the king or from, king's emissary to have intercourse with somebody. Huh. So, yeah. Or it was, the other one is something to do with foregoing carnal. It was something to do with like forbidden usage of carnal knowledge. That's it.
Whoa.
Yeah. Forbidden usage of carnal knowledge.
Fuck.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So if people were having intercourse, premaritally, they were, because carnal knowledge was another way of saying sex, right? To have sex. So you were fucked if you did that.
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, that's another, but those are urban myths.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not actually what it is.
Or maybe it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's likely that, this word. Here's another interesting fact. The word occupy used to be a dirty word.
Occupy.
To occupy. Yeah.
Why?
Because it had sexual connotations.
So.
To occupy. Think about the word gay. And people are like, when they say, oh, that's gay.
Yeah.
And then the person says, oh, you shouldn't say that. And then the person who's an idiot is like, well, it used to mean that you're happy, but it doesn't anymore. It has a different association.
Anymore.
Yeah.
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 It did used to. Go ahead.
It did used to have that, but it doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
And anybody with a brain knows that it doesn't have that connotation anymore.
Yeah.
That is a archaic usage of that word, right?
Yeah.
Word usages become archaic, and then they have a different connotation. Like occupy, it had an archaic connotation with sex. Now we use like, they've got to occupy this place. You're not actually going to have sex.
Oh, sorry, this restroom's occupied.
Yeah. Oh, they're banging in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? So the other interesting thing is when you look up where the words are first written, right? Swear words. Mm-hmm. And I think the first written record of, the F word in a dictionary is in like the 16th century.
1655, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it somewhere, and it was like the penguin dictionary or something weird.
Yeah, Webster's.
I think it wasn't the Webster's dictionary. It was like the penguin something dictionary.
They fucking knew what penguins were back then.
Apparently. But yeah, they that was the first use of fuck in the dictionary. At least what I saw.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody wanted to use it. They're like, nah, fuck this.
But here's the other thing, like. It's just a word.
Like shoe.
Yeah, it's just a word, right? But, saying something like, oh my God. I imagine that back then would have been way more offensive, using the Lord's name in vain. That makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why people would have such a taboo about that, because that was like their lives.
Well, swear words are, I believe, there are 3 categories, and that's something to do with a god, a human. What's the word I'm looking for? Something to do with the human body, usually shitting or pissing.
Right, defecating.
Defecating of some sort, and then sex. So something to do with God.
Okay.
Defecating, sex.
Bastard, sex. Yeah, sex and or like prestige, or whatever your social class is. Right. Yeah.
Actually, okay. So when I was in grade 1, because we had a 1-2 split. Naturally, I wanted to be one of the cool kids in grade 2, right? Just hang out with the grade 2 kids.
Yeah.
And so this one kid, he put up what I thought was his middle finger to pick his nose, right? Turns out it was actually his ring finger.
Yeah.
He kind of went like this, and he went to his buddy beside him. He was like, "Hey," I think his name's Terry. Weird, I remember that.
That's a nose
like,
picking
Hey,
name.
Terry, and he like pretended to pick his nose with his ring finger. I thought it was his middle finger, so I tried to be cool. So I did it, but I used my middle finger, and I like that. Frickin', his name was Brian, too, little snitch. He told on me that I used my middle finger, and I was like, I don't even know what that means. And so I was choked. I got sent to
your teacher choked you?
Oh, yeah. I'm very old. We used to do that in those days. No. Yeah, so I got sent to the principal's place. My mom showed up, and I was like, I have no fucking idea. No, I have no idea like what I just did. Like nobody explained to me what happened. They just like sent me to the principal. I'm like, I don't know what I did. And so they had to explain to me that, this means a bad word is middle finger for those who can't see me on this audio.
Yeah. Flipping the bird.
Yeah, flipping the bird.
Yeah.
And I remember I asked my mom, I was like, well, does it count? Because I was crying because I didn't know it was a bad word. Like, does it count for your first time? She said, yeah. I was devastated. And I was like, well, fuck. Now that I'm older, I can't help but just use the F-bomb.
How do we learn how to swear? Is it from our parents?
Most likely. I'd say majority.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Because if you take like what's a word that sounds like fuck? Puck. If you're talking about hockey.
Well, hassle. Hassle's a good one.
Hassle.
Hassle.
Like, yeah, or even just apple. Kind of stuff. Like,
but
kids can't pronounce things.
But like, that's such a hassle. People would be like, excuse me?
Actually, one of my buddies, his kid saw an eagle, which he thought was called a falcon eagle.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, Dad, it's a fucking eagle.
Here's a good one. So I was at this like super... Like when I was in university, there was this old guy that he just audited courses, right? Beautiful man. Love this guy. He was like super Christian and he was like, I just want to learn about war. And he was like 80 years old and his name was Bill. And we're in class and I had a project. I had to interview him like somebody who went to school in the 60s. He went to school like the 40s. Anyways, and he was like so happy that I was going to interview him. And so he's like, yeah, come over to my house and you can meet my wife. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess this is where I get murdered. And so I go to his house and his wife's there and we're talking. And I guess Bill had told his wife about me and how I like to go hunting. And so she walks up. She's like, so Rob, when are you going hunting? And I was like, well, yeah, this weekend. But you could tell she was like, oh, but she didn't want to like full on catch it.
Yeah.
I guess the moral of the story is like, does that count? Because she was a legitimate slip.
Yeah.
She didn't mean to say that. And it's almost like she was like, does he know what that word means? Yeah. Is he a good Christian boy? But I'll never forget it. It was like this sweet old lady and she just dropped a C-bomb.
One cool thing I found for all the feminists out there that don't like the word cunt.
Yeah.
It is actually, definition-wise, more feminist than the word vagina.
Well, how is that?
Vagina is dependent on the penis for its definition because vagina literally means, in Latin, sheath.
Oh.
And I guess it comes together somehow to make sword sheath. So vagina is literally a sword sheath, but it needs a penis for it to be a vagina.
Yeah, it's a scabbard.
Yeah. Whereas cunt literally, it was just, that's what it was called. It's called a cunt.
Yeah. Well, they actually use that word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like not loosely. They used it commonplace.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad word.
Yeah, kind of like we use all these derogatory names for, our horns, things like that for a penis.
Yeah.
But the correct term is penis.
Right.
So back then, that word, cunt, was the correct word. That's what I got from the reading.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay. We can say these words because this is educational.
We put the disclaimer at the beginning.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Some of the boring ones I found, bitch literally means female dog.
Yeah, I knew that.
There's nothing. I was trying to see if there's, the only other cool thing was it's Old Germanic for bitchy. But that one's boring. The ass is also boring. It literally just means comes from arse. They used to call it an arse.
Like
me arse. Yeah, my arse. But if you use it as a donkey, which is called an ass, it was used as an insult. Like you're stupid. Like you are a donkey.
You ass.
Yeah. Don't make an ass out of
you
yourself.
Ass hat.
Yeah, you're making a donkey out of yourself, which is stupid. My favorite one, shit.
Yes.
For sure. From the Old English of, I guess it's pronounced shit. S-C-I-T-E.
Shite.
Shite. Sight. Seat.
Yeah.
Which means dung. Siti or shiti is diarrhea, and shitan or sitan is to defecate. Then that turned into shite. Well, they added an H in it.
This is going back to the C word. In England,
yeah.
In England, there was streets. Streets used to be named after what you could get on the streets, right? Like,
Loaf of Bread Street.
Yeah,
Street.
I got to think exactly what that was, but Market Street, that would be where you get all your goods, right?
Church Street.
And yeah, Cathedral Grove,
Brothel Street.
But there was a place. It was like a red light district where there's prostitutes, and it was called Cunt Grope Lane.
Whoa.
Yeah, which
didn't Donald Trump do that?
He did do that, yeah. But that was the name of the street. And then as time went on, and there's actually a really cool word for it. Oh. But it's when you essentially it's like there was this guy, he was this writer. I think it's called the Baldwinize. And he wrote all the Shakespeare plays, but took all the bad stuff out of it. So families could read it.
Yeah.
And anyways, this place was Baldwinized. Because that was the guy's name who did this, who sanitized things, censored things. Yeah. He's the original censor. And the street eventually became Grove Lane.
Just Grove.
Grove Lane. Because,
he took it out.
Yeah.
The cunt.
Yeah. But down through the ages, it became that. And in the, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what it used to be. So that just goes to tell you that word was used loosely, but now it's become such a word.
Also, there's a joke somewhere in there where Cunt Street was used loosely. Can I go back to shit now?
Sorry,
No. Anything else on cunt?
No.
I think jumping back and forth. Okay. I found out that shit actually used to be referred to, or it would refer to a obnoxious person.
Well, I guess I am a little shit.
So you are shit.
Yeah.
You are a little shit. And then bullshit. Bull came from to lie or falsehood.
B-U-L-L. Oh, yeah.
From the French of boll, B-O-L-E, which meant deception or to trick. So, meant false talk, and bullshit was false talk from an I can't say it. Bullshit is false talk from an obnoxious person.
Huh.
So if you are talking lies, as an obnoxious person, you're talking bullshit.
You're talking, yeah. But that's still used today.
Yeah.
Did it give you the year of when that happened?
It probably did. I didn't write it down.
Wow.
But I thought that was pretty cool.
So I wonder then, what they said in Greek times that was like a swear word. Greek times, but like, ancient Greece.
Yeah.
Roman times.
Maybe they just didn't.
But that's just it. Like I said, you stub your toe, you say the thing.
Whenever I stub my toe, I say something in Egyptian, and it's like, I'm in the wrong. I do. Or I yell out Loki.
Yeah.
Loki.
But, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I got for origins.
I just think that, like, there's something about swear words that kind of, it's fascinating in a way.
I have a question for you.
What?
Do you trust people that swear?
I trust them more.
Me too. Like,
I trust them more because they're real.
Yeah. They're like, so when I go to my job and do like quotes and stuff, it could be a homeowner, it can be a contractor, anybody. You meet somebody for the first time, and you're kind of like, don't really know this person. Is he going to be a big, like, obnoxious person? A bullshitter, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe this nice little Christian lady that wants her place done. But as soon as someone swears, boom, floodgates open. I trust that person no matter what.
Yeah,
I like you already.
Yeah.
And just like those walls just come crashing down. All from a swear word.
Why do you think that is?
Probably because it's a bad, like whatever it is, probably the F-bomb. But if somebody says it, it's a bad word. You're not supposed to. But if you say it in a place where you're not supposed to, you're kind of putting trust, or maybe you're not. Who knows? Maybe you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
But I think you're putting trust into the other person to just say, hey, this is a bad word and I don't mind saying it in front of you.
I trust you.
And I trust you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm letting my guard down. I don't feel like you're going to judge me.
Right.
Sure.
Also, some people just might be just out there just too.
You got a mouth like a sailor.
Oh, I swear all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well,
I try to watch my mouth around people until I usually let them do the first curse word. For the most part.
And then you're just like piss ass.
Yeah.
Goof. Yeah. That's another one that's apparently highly offensive. Goof. But I
almost got beaten up for that one.
Who'd you call it? But when you're like goof, it's funny.
Yeah. Now I think nowadays it's pretty fine.
Well, I think yeah, because we diluted its usage by calling people goof. But you know what? We were calling ourselves goofs.
It's a prison term, I believe.
Yeah, for somebody who is a child, sexual assaulter.
Is that what it is? Oh, geez,
apparently.
Okay.
But here's another one. So I don't even know if I can say this, but I used to chew tobacco, and I call it dipper, right? Yeah. And I'd be like, "Hey, who wants a dipper?"
Yeah.
Apparently, that is like highly offensive towards people from India, like Punjabi people.
A dipper.
A dipper, yeah.
I've heard it used. I just thought.
I had no idea. Like I was chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
It's like, who wants a dipper? And this guy's like,
Yeah.
I'm not using it in.
Well, it comes from just having a dip.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So,
having a dip of chewing
and
tobacco.
You want a dipper, yeah.
But this is what I'm saying is that somebody else finds that word offensive, whereas me, I'm totally ignorant to it. But that's the interesting thing about words.
It's also the way that you're using it.
Yes, but to them, they don't know that. Like, okay, there's a word that I can't stand. That's the N word. I don't want to say it.
I can't do it.
But in China, they use that word as like, how we go, we have these words that just like fill space.
Yeah.
They say the N word.
Really?
Yeah, to like fill space. Yeah. I honestly don't like that word. To me, that's the most foul word.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's, reverse colonialism or whatever, but to me is a foul sounding word. I
I
can't fucking stand that word.
I don't mind doing it if I'm listening to rap music.
Yeah, but that's different.
No, and I'm but I don't even do it out like in public.
Yeah.
I usually change.
It's just
I usually change it to painter.
ER. It's like, oh.
Okay, well that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Usually just a soft A.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can deal with that in like a rap song. But then like somewhere I can't. I'll never use the ER. The hard R is just ooh, no.
Yeah, especially from a white person. I want to punch him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you are such a slimy piece of shit.
Man, when anybody uses it, I
yeah, but really for me, white people.
For sure.
You know what though? Yeah. No,
well, because usually it's...
But
usually
who am I to say that? It's just, that's just, for whatever reason, that like irks me.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, me too.
Like a white person, really? You're a piece of shit. And I can call you that.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing though. Like, there's a lot of ignorance in the world. Right? And I think people associate using a lot of foul language with a lack of intelligence.
Yeah.
Right?
Can. Although, I don't know if it's a higher swear word count. I don't know the correct terminology.
Right.
But people that use swear words actually are more intelligent in a context of using it like between words that they want to use.
Yeah.
Not in like you're a fucking fuck. Like, okay, obviously you're unintelligent.
Yeah. No, they use it emphatically.
Yes.
Like I've heard people, like my Uncle Dale, love him. He has the F word crop dusted throughout his speech. It's like boom, boom, boom. They like conjoin words. They conjoin sentences.
They're a verb and noun.
They're verb, noun, adjective, conjecture. I don't know. But it's almost like there's a correlation between the number of swear words that you use, right? And where you use them.
You got to use them correctly.
Going back to that emphatic use of swear words, right? When people are like, I can't understand this. You're like, whoa. Like my grandmother, when she swore, it was like, oh,
yeah, because if you use that same sentence again without the swear words,
I'm not pissed. I'm fucking pissed. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. But if you say like I don't understand, that doesn't come across as, or even I could try my hardest. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Not really, but I don't fucking understand. Boom.
Yeah. You're like,
whoa, you really don't understand.
Yeah. And
before I thought you were just kidding.
There's a catharsis in swearing, right? No, but like when you're pissed off and you swear, you are actually getting that anger out.
Yeah.
Right? Versus people who like something happens, they're like, nah, everything's fine. Ah. Right? Those people are more potentially unhinged than someone who's like, God damn it, right? You're like, oh, good, this guy's getting it out.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say I'm like, you know me, I'm a pretty nice guy. I don't get angry too often. It's probably because I listen to a lot of metal music. Yeah. And all that singing and kind of rage that comes out is usually my outlet.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do it in regular everyday life. And then if it starts boiling up inside me, then I can just let it out that way. Some people, they don't have that outlet. Everything's all rainbows and daisies.
I think it's dangerous, and this is a segue to our next podcast, but I think it's dangerous when you tell people that they shouldn't feel a certain way. Like parents need to be very careful in anger is a very real emotion. Mm-hmm. You can't get rid of anger. That's why it's called anger management.
Manage it.
Yeah, you find a way to control it. And that's something that, that's one of the biggest follies of my life is managing my anger. Because my rage, it's just so powerful and it's so destructive. And and swearing helps control that. So anyways, that's
whoa. I got one last tidbit for you.
Okay.
This one's a fun one.
Okay.
So in most cultures, making fun of someone's mother in any sort of way you want to is usually the bad, the offensive. You're a motherfucker, or, fuck your mother kind of. That's how people insult each other, right?
Yeah.
In most cultures. So some fun ones, or in Bosnian, they go after their fathers, which I thought was a weird one. Albanian, they go after if you make fun of their family in any way, it's offensive. In Turkey, it goes out to the extended family. You can't even make fun of them. Fuck your cousin. They'd be offended by that.
Hey!
My favorite one is in China. It goes all the way back to the 18th generation. You can't make fun of anybody
from the 18th generation on.
Yeah.
But the 19th generation.
Oh, you can make fun of those guys all you want.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Wow. But it's fascinating. Language is fascinating. How did we get here?
Well, you drove. No.
Did I?
Yeah.
Wow.
Consciousness just grew.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna stop it there because I know we're gonna go on a tangent in our next one. So thank you for listening. This has been the history of
swear words.
Curse words.
I'm Bobby.
Yeah, and if you didn't like this, then I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fuck you.